In the lush rainforests of Australia, birds amble across the forest floor to eat fallen fruit, unaware of what's moving through the undergrowth. But the jungle isn't theirs alone. A hungry dingo is prowling through the shadows, looking for a meal that fruit alone cannot satisfy. When the predator lunges, the flock immediately flees to the safety of the trees, all except the cassowary. With a massive, heavy body and relatively puny wings, she can't clear the ground. Instead of fleeing, she attacks. With a single swipe of her razor-sharp toe claws, she sends the dingo running for cover. The cassowary is one of roughly 60 living species of earthbound birds. They live all over the world, from the icy shores of Antarctic penguins to the vast savannas of African ostriches. Though the common ancestor of all modern birds possessed the ability to fly, many different species have independently lost that trait. For these birds, flightlessness became a deliberate path toward survival. Flight offers incredible benefits for hunting and travel, but it comes with a high metabolic price. Defying gravity requires a constant, massive burn of energy. That energy demand places a biological ceiling on a species. To stay airborne, a bird must strictly limit its physical body size and weight. This balance sheet shows the trade-off. A bird that doesn't fly conserves massive amounts of energy. By cutting that cost, it can survive on lower quality or scarcer food sources than a bird that spends its day in the air. The takahe of New Zealand lives this reality. Because it never spends energy on flight, it can power its entire body by eating almost nothing but the soft base of alpine grasses. For birds that nest or feed on the ground, the pressure to fly can vanish quickly. If predators are absent, a species can stop flying in as little as a few generations. For many lineages, the energy saved by staying on the ground proved to be a more effective strategy than the ability to take to the air. Once a species commits to the ground, its physical architecture shifts over millions of years as the body adjusts to a purely terrestrial life. Looking at this comparison, the change is clear. Avian bones are typically hollow to minimize weight, but over time, they become heavy and dense. Their feathers change too. Without the need to catch the wind, interlocking barbs unravel into soft fluff. Even the sternum changes. The keel-like protrusion where flight muscles used to attach gradually shrinks, and in some cases, it disappears entirely. Penguins repurposed this same blueprint. They kept their keels and flight muscles, but they used them for a different medium, effectively flying through water rather than the air. Other species reinvested that energy into sheer scale. Emus and ostriches grew to weigh hundreds of pounds more than wings can lift, developing thick legs and powerful thigh muscles for running. These anatomical changes represent a total shift in biological capital, trading wings for new tools built for life on the floor. Flightlessness usually evolves on isolated islands where there are no predators. For millions of years, these sanctuaries provided a stable but narrow ecological niche. That isolation ended when human settlers arrived, building permanent structures and carving a new footprint into these island landscapes. Humans brought new neighbors, dogs, cats, and stowaway rodents that quickly moved into these habitats. In New Zealand, introduced stoats became a specific threat. The native birds had no evolutionary defense against an agile mammalian predator of this speed. Species that had nested safely on the open ground for millennia lay suddenly vulnerable, their populations decimated by animals they were never built to escape. The dodo demonstrates how quickly a specialized terrestrial bird can go extinct when it meets a sudden influx of invasive predators. Flightlessness offers incredible energy efficiency, but it is an evolutionary gamble. It succeeds only as long as the environment remains the same.